Alexander.
Hello.
Artistic Director of the Marylebone, Alexander Gifford.
We're having a wonderful event here. It's a very auspicious launch.
Thank you so much for having us. So we're all gathered outside to celebrate the launch of this new initiative, the new Actors Centre, launching mid-January.
The Actors Centre was one of the most wonderful initiatives that emerged from within the profession. Actors helping each other and themselves. And it gave it an extraordinary luminosity and a huge value. And people still remember from those early days right through to the terrible moment when, thanks I suppose to COVID or certainly coinciding with COVID, when it suddenly wasn't. That idea was no longer in circulation. And the Actors Centre, under that name, became something other than the Actors Centre, and it rapidly fell deeper and deeper into something which was completely useless to actors. And what is wonderful is that this group of people who have created this, and I've very much been on the fringes of this, but always behind it, so to speak, have worked and worked and worked and schemed and planned and communicated endlessly to revive the great idea. The flame is lit again. Whatever we end up calling it, like your party, the idea is burning bright again. And nobody in this room should underestimate the amount of work, the amount of passion and thought and brilliance which has gone into it. As I said a year ago, talking about this, my friends and colleagues here have become sleuths, they've become lawyers, they've become accountants, all sorts of things that they didn't know they could do or be. And here we are today, and thank God we've met, a sympathetic spirit in this company here, which will enable it to grow again. So bravo, well done.
I've very kindly been asked to say a few words, and I won't. I'm conscious that this is a campaign that's fundamentally been led by two incredible women. After a succession of male speakers, which I so a particular round of applause, I think, for Louise and Kate and It's almost like those t-shirts have become part of your very being.
We get a new one.
Yeah, a new t-shirt, right there. So you can finally get changed after 4 years. A massive, a lot's been said. People who know me well know I hate the word resilience, and it is a word that is constantly thrown at actors and artists and those in our profession as if the precarity that they face and their exclusion from the big decisions of the workforce, decisions around what their training should look like, decisions about what sort of work they should participate in should look like. Actors are very often patronised and dismissed and then applauded for being resilient in an economy, in a society and in an industry that doesn't always value them or place them at its core where it should, as the workforce as well as artists. And the resilience that has been shown through this campaign is actually matched and exceeded by the resistance that has been shown by this campaign to not accept that when they're told actors, their voice at the heart of training, at the heart of ongoing development, and at the heart of what the industry should look like in the future, when they were told that wasn't worthwhile, they decided to resist it. And it is an incredible further step, a significant further step, to have a space to begin those classes, those courses, that industry conversation, that worker conversation. We have to acknowledge there are billions of pounds swishing around in our industry, and it very rarely reaches the artist at the other end, irrespective of the status of that artist or where they are. It is very telling that smaller venues, although those using union agreements and receiving work on fine trade union negotiated terms and conditions, are those who are most willing to help. And I think we have to acknowledge in particular the Marylebone Theatre, the space here, and the staff, the physical resource, the people here that are making it happen. The closer you are to the reality of how actors are treated, then actually the more likely you are to support them in that endeavour. And a massive acknowledgement, I think, to the theatre, to the space, and to the people who work here. There is a long campaign ahead. There are questions about how we make the campaign sustainable, how we make the centre sustainable, and how we continue to hold the Seven Dials Playhouse, or whatever they call themselves now, to account for what they've done. I've said this to the campaign, and I've been involved in a few Charity Commission investigations in my time, and it is very clear that they're taking it very seriously. And they are an overworked, overburdened public body, but we're not going to let up that fight. Certainly Equity isn't going to let up the support we've given for that work. But also looking towards the future and what happens in this space, and indeed in the terms and classes and spaces to come. So everybody in this room should feel very proud of it. We've moved a bit from this culture of resilience to this culture of resistance, and we've seen the fruits of it. So yeah, a massive, massive well done, particularly to Kate and Louise, but to everybody in this room who's been part.
And her classes turned my career around in getting jobs, and I think that's why I'm here, because after she died, I think she would have been horrified at what the Seven Dials have done to her legacy and the legacy of all the teachers who taught us there. And it was accessible training, it was affordable, and we were a great community. And it's also for me a big day, because Amanda Davey, yes, exactly, thanks Patricia, has tried to put the boot in on actors. She never liked actors. Why she ever got the job there, I don't know, but she never liked actors. And I think we're trying to prove to her that we are a force, and that we are right to ask for affordable, accessible training. I want to thank Alexander for taking us in and giving us a chance to build on what we've already done. And we've got some amazing classes. So please sign up and show us that you want it to continue, because we need your investment.
I echo everything that Louise said. I also want to make a huge big thank you to other people in the team. So the other company directors, Freddie, Aviana, Carol. I also want to thank our wider steering committee, many of the people like Chris, Kathy, people who are here, who have been working tirelessly. We've been sort of working on this since February 22, and it's been a long haul. But I think, just to echo what you're saying, I was an actor that joined the Actors Centre. I met friends. I did Miser technique, which changed my life. I then became a Miser teacher, worked at the Actors Centre as a teacher. It was instrumental in my career, in my creativity, and in community. For me, the one big thing that the Seven Dials, as well as training, took away was community, which gives actors agency, gives actors the potential to collaborate, gives them spaces to be, to feel like they have a home. And in the current climate, with self-taping and of much less of a sense of community for actors, is vital. So it's so exciting to, and I think we feel a similar feeling around this space could be a real home, a real community for us to get us back. And we really appreciate Equity support on this. And the affordability and the accessibility is super important, particularly in a time where money is incredibly tight for people. And so this is really exciting, and I'm kind of delighted people are here. And as Louise says, come along with us and spread the word, because we're going to need everybody's input.
Class.